It was October of 2023, and I was just doing push-ups at 5 a.m. And I just thought to myself, what other guy my age does this kind of workout? What other guy wakes up at 5 a.m. to be grateful, to improve their mental health? What other guy my age does meditate at 5 a.m. to purify his attention span? Literally no one. I was like the only one who was up in my house, and like the only young man who I bet in like the 30-kilometer radius. Like if you draw a circle with a diameter of 30 kilometers, I would have been the only disciplined guy in that entire circle who would have been doing push-ups at 5 a.m., doing his morning routine to improve himself. And as I finished my working out routine and I sat down to meditate, I couldn't help but just think about all of my classmates. Like, no offense to them. Also, the fact that we are not really compatible with each other. You know, like they like to play video games, scroll on YouTube shorts, they go out partying, they take drugs, they probably even vape, they drink alcohol, are constantly yelling at each other. They are beating up my female classmates from time to time, they are making fun of them, and that's just not for me. And so I just thought to myself, how much longer do I have to work on myself to get the high quality men into my life so that I can leave these people behind? And then I remembered, oh yeah, I still have to go to school with them for like the next 2 years. I've been spending time with low quality people in my life for like the past 15 years, and yet I still have to do this. I still have to listen to them yelling at each other for 2 more years. But life as a man isn't easy, and you have to work tirelessly, tremendously hard on yourself to actually get the delayed gratification. And of course, even back then I knew this, and so I just got so much more motivated to work hard on myself, and I continued to watch long form educational videos for 1 more month. And it wouldn't be long until early November of that same year that one of my mom's friends came over to our house all the way from England with her husband. And let me tell you, bro, this guy was based as fuck. Like, he was literally the first guy who had appreciated me, all of my knowledge that I've been gathering for the past like 5 months by that point. He was literally listening to all of my self improvement advice and he was supporting it. He was that high quality man that I've been waiting for all of this time. And yet he was here. He was way too early to meet me. And I knew this too. Like, sure, even back then, I was still quite advanced in my self improvement journey. I, of course, knew about the concepts of discipline, of willpower. I was waking up at 5 a.m., so I had the productivity to improve my life. But this was different. You see, when I was talking to him, even though my level of self improvement knowledge wasn't that high like it is now, I still felt like I had so much to tell him. He made me feel just so special, but not in a gay way, you dumbass. I mean, like, I had finally someone to talk to on this lonely path of self improvement. Because, let's be honest, I would never be able to explain the concept of willpower to my instant gratification classmates. Basically, to make a long story short, he was the first ever high value man that I've spoken to in my entire life. Like, sure, I could talk about business stuff, about, weightlifting and exercising with my dad, but this time it was completely different. Like, we had the most mindful conversation. We talked for like 3 hours straight, even though English isn't my mother language, of course. But it felt like it was. For those 3 hours, I was literally talking like I had knew him for my entire life. That's how close we were. Now keep in mind, he has been regularly coming to our house. But the last time he was at our house, it was like 8 years ago. And as he was leaving, he said to me something that never has anyone told me in my entire life. He said that I truly inspired him. And bro, that sentence right there, do you really think that I had any desire to quit self improvement that from that day onwards? Of course not. Like, bro, I had literally almost changed this entire guy's perspective on life, and he was like 60 years old. And I just thought to myself, how crazy it would be. Imagine how much progress I would be able to make on my self improvement journey if I had someone like him by my side. Like encouraging me, talking about self improvement ideas that I had, going to the gym with me, being in a healthy competition with me. Bro, I would literally propel myself forward. We would have so much excellence together. Like, he actually gave me the fucking motivation to work hard on myself. He made me feel like it actually had a purpose, like the delayed gratification was actually coming, and all I had to do was just further work hard on myself. I wouldn't get these words from anyone in my local area. Like, for example, my mental health is so good that, for example, when I make a mistake, like, for example, I drop a glass on the floor and it breaks, I'm grateful for that because I can learn from that mistake. And whilst everyone is, yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs, like, TR, are you fucking retarded? What have you done? And I'm just standing there like, bro, this happens. Why are you yelling at me so much? Well, that was an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. I'm, for example, grateful for clouds on a rainy day because they keep the earth, cool. And I continue to wake up at 5 a.m. so that I can do my most favorite habits of the day, which is, exercising, meditating, which just improves your attention span, you dopamine driven monkeys. And then there's gratitude journaling, which just improves your positive thinking. And yet, you tell me that gratitude journaling is cringe. And yet, you're the one who constantly has negative thoughts inside of your head. Just do you see the irony? And no, this is not meant on you who is watching this video, but on them. Because I know that you're different than them. Like, for example, if my classmates that I have right now found out about that I do, like, for example, good habits like gratitude journaling, regular journaling, and meditating, they would make fun of me. Well, not in a traditional way, like, they will point their fingers and laugh at me in front of the entire class. No, they would spread gossip about me. And they would literally say behind my back such awful things that I cannot even imagine they would say. But you see, the next day that I came to school, after talking to that mom's friend's husband, I didn't look down upon them. Like, sure, they are still instant gratification monkeys. And I'm not saying this to make them mad, but to motivate them. They're, dopamine driven for just the instant pleasure of video games, social media, you get what I'm saying. But you see, I was grateful for them because as I improved my stoicism skill and learned to take advantage of everything in my life, my opinion on the people around me changed tremendously. And so in this video, we will go over why it is beneficial to spend time with low quality people. The first big benefit of spending time with them is, for example, getting so many life lessons from them. This can be like, for example, your classmate getting in a argument with you about some bullshit that happened between both of you like 3 years ago, and he's trying to, make you lash out and make you mad, make you scream on the top of your lungs because he's making you angry just so that he can improve his social status, just so that he can, you know leverage your reputation on himself. He wants to embarrass you in front of the entire class just to break your reputation, and so that he can add that to his reputation as, not you not being as strong, and him improving himself so that he can look stronger than you. Well, you can use these temptations for the future so that, for example, the next time someone is making fun of you on the street, you don't accidentally punch him and, get sentenced to jail. But I'm talking about the life lessons. Like, for example, just analyzing their entire lives and just not taking the choices that they've made. Like, for example, watching YouTube instead of reading a book, playing video games instead of having purpose in life, fapping instead of actually cold approaching women on the street with having a sense of purpose, for example. Or, for example, them binge eating like unhealthy snacks, like, for example, chips, some sugary bullshit, instead of improving their relationships with the people around them, just so that they can get, the oxytocin from them instead of getting the dopamine hits from, sugar. Also, them taking drugs, alcohol, and smoking cigarettes. I mean, that's just obvious. I don't even have to get into that. But also their choices in order to become successful in life. You can learn from their mistakes also. Always remember this quote: smart men learn from their mistakes, and wise men learn from the mistakes of others. One of the big life lessons that you can use in order to not become like them is to not spend as much time with them as possible. Of course, you are still their classmate and you cannot change that. But that doesn't stop you from not talking to them. Like, who says that you need to interact with them at all? And you see, they don't get it. And so every time, they make fun of each other and they lash out, they cannot help but to just, respond and be even louder just to prove themselves in front of your female classmates, for example. Just that right there is a life lesson. Something as small as that. They choose to spend time with low quality men of their age. And you know what they say? You're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And so that's the reason why they are not successful. Because they spend time with dumbasses. Like, ask yourself, why are they so addicted to video games? Because they have like 10 other video game buddies right there in their class with whom they can play anytime that they desire. So you can basically become like the silent observer of the class. You can basically just sit behind your desk and just listen to all of them. Listen to the way that they talk. Listen to the way that they act. And you can learn from that to not do that. And to instead learn other ways that you can improve yourself and improve your self beliefs. Because reality is changed by its observer. Because, like, for example, if you hear one of your classmates say that they're tired, and if they actually say it out loud, they will believe it. If your other classmate says that they are not smart enough, that they cannot do the exam, then they won't. Just listen to the way that they talk, listen to the way that they act, and just don't do it if you don't want to end up like them. And those are the life lessons that you can get from them on a daily basis. You can take advantage of everything that they do to your advantage. And that's the power of stoicism that you can use. The second great benefit is that you can improve your social intelligence with them in no time. Because, of course, like 99% of people in the world are dumbasses. So you can improve your social intelligence with them as quickly as you can because they are always around you. You're never truly alone. You're never truly away from them. Why not improve your social intelligence with them right now in order so that you know how to communicate with them better in the future? And so, in fact, if you have these kinds of family members who are part of the 99% of people who are, you know, a dumbass, but they also spend time on social media, you get what I'm saying. I encourage you to spend time with them, but not like, you actively seek them out. I mean, like in a family gatherings, like you warm approach them and you tell them some of your life stories, but then you can also see how far you can go with your life stories. Because, of course, there are some stories that you can tell to your mom that you can't tell to your gossipy aunt who will instantly tell them to like your entire extended family. Yeah. And you can also use cold approaching to your advantage also. Like, for example, if you know that there's this really mean guy at your gym that always makes fun of everyone and no one likes him, then like 9 out of 10 times I would recommend that you stay away from him. But when a situation comes, like for example, you have this question that no one can answer for you unless you ask him, just go for it. You will get, at the best, if he rejects you, at least you got some social intelligence from that. And the third benefit that you get It's basically a lot of contacts that you can use later to your advantage. Like, sure, they may not be willing as much to help you, but at least it's something that you can use to your advantage. But if you want to get contacts with high quality people, just like yourself, with other men who are on self improvement, who are improving themselves every single day, who share the same values as you, the same goals, with whom you can compete with on a daily basis, and then you can join our Discord clan in the description. I know that you will find your place in there. And trust me, you will make progress like there's no tomorrow. You can leave the 99% of people behind in the dust. And best of all, you can still leverage them for life lessons. You can like the video, you can subscribe if you like, comment on which part of the video you liked the most and which part of the video you will implement. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you.